All right, you can begin whenever you would like.
I can begin. Perfect. Um, Welcome everybody to our cooking class or cooking demo. My name is Joanna. I'm a dietitian at Form Health, and today I will show you how to make a very simple and quick recipe, something for dinner that you can whip up in 15 minutes or maybe 20 if you take your breaks for a sip of glass of water. So before we start the cooking demo, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Form Health. So we are a company that focus on helping people to achieve their weight loss goals. We work, if you would sign up with us, we work with physicians who are specialized in treatment of obesity, and also we have on-staff dietitians. So normally, if you signed up, you will see a physician follow up by a doctor on monthly basis, and also you would work with dietitians, and I am one of them. And when you work with dietitian, you basically work on personalized plan that helps you to achieve that goal. So depends where you are. We'll start from we'll meet you halfway, and we'll try to understand sort of your background, your past medical history, and your nutrition history, and then we'll set goals around it and help to sort of walk you through step-by-step process. So this is just a short introduction, but bottom line, Form Health is a place that we are helping people to achieve their better version of themselves. That's what I typically say. So you can get more information later on, but for now, let's just go focus on the cooking, because that's what I love to talk about. I love to talk about food. So today we're going to make a very quick recipes, and the recipe is, and you're going to get the recipe, I think, later, but we're going to make everything but the bagel, crusted salmon with asparagus. And so why salmon? Salmon generally, it's a great source of protein that helps us to feel fuller and increase our satiety. Salmon is also a wonderful source of omega-3 fatty acids that has been recognized to be beneficial for someone who deals with cardiovascular diseases, or just as a preventative matter. We should be eating fish. It's recommended 2 times per week if possible. Hopefully you're not allergic. But salmon is one of those fatty fish that, again, is very rich in omega-3 fatty acids. So salmon is and it cooks very quickly. Today I'm going to use air fryer, and I don't have anything fancy. It's a very simple piece of equipment. Initially, I was a little bit apprehensive about getting another gadget. However, I borrowed from a friend and I tested for a few weeks, and afterwards I decided, yes, I do need an air fryer. And as of today, I use my air fryer almost daily. So almost as frequent as I use my coffee maker. So it's a definitely highly recommended piece of equipment, because it helps to cook things very fast, and the cleaning is much easier. It sort of doesn't seem almost overwhelming to put something into air fryer, press few buttons, and will be ready to eat, versus you can definitely do everything that you do in air fryer, you do it in the oven. It's sort of similar, exactly almost the same process, cooking in the air fryer in the oven, but I think this one is much faster, and again, the cleanup is much easier. So today we're going to make our salmon in air fryer. However, if you don't have an air fryer, there's also a way to do it in the oven. So you just preheat your oven to 425 degrees, and then you put your salmon, your prepared salmon, not plain. Okay, so let's focus on the salmon.
Joanna, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you know if the air fryer cooks quicker? How do you know how long to cook something for?
Good question. I usually Google.
Perfect.
No, there's a lot of conversion. So it depends on what it is, and depends on the food, and if it's frozen, not frozen. But generally, I will Google a lot of the stuff. I think somewhere I got the table that you can sort of tells you it's typically shorter. It says air fryer is like a convection oven. I mean, this is basically what it is. It's a portable convection oven. Again, you can put in a convection mode in your oven, but again, air fryer faster, much easier. And when it comes to temperature, usually Google. Like I will Google how long will take baked potatoes. I usually do baked potatoes. I love doing sweet potatoes. I will do sweet potatoes, just the whole potatoes, poke it and roast them. It takes like 10-20 minutes. Salmon, to be honest, is like one of the best way to prepare in an air fryer, because it comes nice and sort of crispy or caramelized from the outside, but inside it's sort of cooked to perfection. So it's 400 degrees, 10 minutes, sometimes 11, depends on thickness of your salmon, and it will come out perfect. Often in the oven, I have tendency to overcook it, but with air fryer, never. So use your air fryer. So here it is. I have salmon. So two pieces. This is approximately a pound, but again, you can use more or less. So I'm going to make only 2 steaks, and you can dress your salmon in many different ways. Typically, what I do, I can spray a little bit with avocado oil, because this is a good oil to use for air fryer. Has a very high smoke temperature, so it doesn't burn and destroy. So it's good to use it. And you can see I have a little deodorant for a bottle that I just refill it and spray it. And you can put basically different seasonings on it: smoked paprika, thyme, or Italian seasonings. Some very, very simple, little salt and pepper. Stick it in the air fryer, and it will come up great. But today we're doing a little bit different. So we're going to mix a mixture of Dijon mustard and honey. So little spice, little sweetness. And the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons. I'm going to just use 2 because I have only 2 steaks, so it's not that much. So, but remember, it's proportion 1-to-1, right? Mustard, great, simple, a lot of flavor, and honey, a little sweetness. Oh, wait. So I'm going to just go. Also, if you don't like honey, you can use maple syrup. It's great as well. Just again, some sweetness. Or you can completely skip that process and just move to step number 2, add your seasonings on top, right? But sometimes if I feel super fancy, I will do honey and mustard, and I will add a little lemon zest and smoked paprika. Remember, smoked paprika is that secret seasonings that you should always have it available, right? All right, so
Don't forget, if you have questions for Joanna, you can leave them in the chat and I will be asking her. And I have another question for you, Joanna. You said avocado oil was good because it can have the high heat. Which oils wouldn't be good to put in an air fryer?
So I usually use avocado oil the most. canola oil could be, some people don't like it so much, but generally avocado oil would be the best. Your olive oil, again, you can put a little bit, depends on the quality of olive oil, depends on type of olive oil, like the high quality of olive oil that is cold press, from certain vintage of olives from Sicily. It's not going to be great for roasting because it has a lot of flavor generally, the first cold press, and it has a lot of nutrients. And by heating that oil in the oven on high temperature, you sort of kill it. You destroy the benefits of good olive oil. So leave your really good olive oil for drizzling over vegetables when they are cooked, or put it on the salad. But for cooking, if you have like the light olive oil, definitely that can have a higher smoke temperature, you can use that as well. All right, so I am brushing my salmon. So again, this just gives you a little flavor, right? Mustard, it has a low tang, and honey gives you a sweetener. And the secret ingredients is everything but the bagel. I don't know if many of you use that, but I use it on a lot of stuff, especially salmon is great. You can put on your chicken to make a little Asian flair as well. My daughter loves to use on avocado toast.
I love it on avocado toast, and I love it on hard-boiled eggs.
Yes, I mean, it's good on anything. I don't know, whoever invented the spice, it's like usually you buy everything but the bagel, but with packaging and selling in a bottle was like brilliant move, because it's became very, very well known, and people have been using on everything. So everything but the bagel, and we sprinkle. Remember, so everything but the bagel it's a mixture of sesame seeds. You have sea salt. So if you put a lot of it, it would be very salty. So just be generous, but not overly generous, because you will taste the salt. You have dried minced garlic, you have dried minced onion, black sesame seeds, and poppy seeds. So this is the combination for everything but the bagel. You can make your own, but why bother? Go for shortcuts. I'm all about making life much, much easier. So we have everything but the bagel, and this is ready to go. So here it is. Whoops. I'm just putting it in. So nothing fancy. I don't know if you can see it. I don't have a.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Oh, that looks great.
Just it's in, nothing to see. Hold on, but we still have to, because the other components, the vegetables, right? So we have our protein, delicious salmon, healthy salmon for beautiful hair and our heart. And also we're going to throw some asparagus. Before I start, let me tell you a little bit about asparagus. So it's usually spring vegetables right now. The season passed, but you still can get it. The way how you, it's basically a shoot of a plant, right? And the way how you know when to snap or where to cut your asparagus is that needs to be snapped. So this part is chewy. I don't know if you've ever gone to a restaurant and you got asparagus that you almost choke on it. Well, because they were too stingy and they didn't, or they wanted you to have more asparagus, and it did not remove that stringy part. So again, easy part, snap, 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 and you have you can cut the ends to make it pretty, because presentation is important. So I have my asparagus. These ends, you can definitely save it. And if you would make a stock or broth or something, stick it in, because they will give more flavor. Another thing fun about asparagus, so it's it's a great source of fiber, so very beneficial for our gut, our health generally. High fiber diet is desirable, but also it makes you pee within usually 15 minutes. Could make your pee smell very strong, and it's due to its content of asparagusic acid. So there's a component in it, chemical, that asparagus has, and our body sort of quickly removes it and makes our urine smell quite strong. So just kind of plan your consumption of asparagus around sort of home environment, or I don't know. Sometimes once I went to a conference and they serve asparagus, and you can definitely, waiting in line for the bathroom to open, you can definitely smell that. So it's just sort of funny things. But health-wise, asparagus are great. You can eat them raw. I have in my garden, and you can definitely chomp on it. Delicious. Roast them. They cook very quickly, so you don't need to do a lot of stuff with it, right? So I'm going to just throw that into the air fryer. You want to toast them or spray them with a little bit of oil, because again, you don't need a lot of it. So I'm going to just put that on the side. And again, as I said, if I would not talk so much, you would have the dinner in 12, maybe 15 minutes. So I'm going
if you don't like asparagus, what veggies could you use instead?
I love broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
Broccoli could be fantastic. Okay, now we're going to, let me just rinse my fingers. I'm setting up 400 degrees. Perfect timing. 10 minutes and start. So see how simple it is? So eating healthy could be also, preparation could be very, very fast. A lot of, going back, Kim, to your question about what can you substitute, broccoli are great. I often roast my broccoli in the air fryer. Actually, I'm doing even bigger shortcuts. So instead of fresh broccoli, I use a bag of frozen broccoli, and they are amazing in air fryer because on the bottom you have the perforation. So the frozen broccoli sometimes could be a little soggy. It depends how you cook it, but in an air fryer, the water drains and you almost can get that charred look of the broccoli. Fantastic. So you definitely can make fresh, but frozen will work wonderfully as well. So zucchini, why not? Bell pepper. I mean, you can sprinkle around any kind of vegetables. If you would add, let's say, sweet potato. Sweet potato cooks a little bit longer because they're, starchy and harder. So you would do it probably ahead of time, maybe like put it for 10 minutes, depends what size you would cook. And cook that, and then you can add your salmon and cook it together, finish it. And again, that's all depends also the size of a air fryer. Mine is sort of average, but easy for the family of 3 of us, my husband, my daughter, and me. So it's easy to sort of cook one dinner in the air fryer.
I have a question about frozen broccoli. Is it true that frozen and fresh broccoli have the same nutritional value, or is one better than the other?
No, usually it is. People are quite apprehensive about using frozen vegetables, and I think it's such a misinformation. Typically, what the companies who do the freezing of vegetables, they pick the vegetables in a sort of best form, and they freeze them very rapidly, so it retains all the nutrients. I definitely would suggest to use frozen vegetables in many different forms. Some of them might not retain the crispiness, like Zucchini probably are not the best frozen because they are very watery, right? They have high water content. So if you defrost it, they will be very soft. But broccoli, cauliflower, fantastic. Even carrots. I mean, I use a lot of frozen vegetables for the convenience. I mean, I don't know about you, but you know, I work full time. I don't have tons of time in the evening to cook elaborate meals. So even though I love to cook, it's just I need to sometimes use a quick shortcut, quick preparation. And I hear that a lot from my patients. It's Joanna, how can I, you know, you tell me to eat a lot of vegetables, you tell me to eat your protein, you tell me to eat whole grains. How can I execute that in a quick way so I can nourish myself and serve my family? So often we'll help people to come up with menus, with recipes that are done in a quick way. So using frozen veggies are perfect nutrition wise and also time saving wise. Yes. And storage wise, because sometimes, you know, I don't know about you, sometimes I buy veggies and they are walking out of my refrigerator because I forgot to use them. So if you have frozen, I call that emergency stuff. You can always pull it out and cook it quickly.
Another question we have is, if we don't like salmon, can we use chicken for this recipe? I think you touched on this earlier, but I wanna.
Definitely. It would probably cook longer, I would say 15 minutes, but definitely. And make sure that when you cook chicken, don't make it, if you make it really thick, it's gonna cook longer. So it depends on the size of the chicken. So just, and always use thermometer for checking the temperature. For chicken, I think it's 160 or 45, 60.
I'll check for you.
Check for me. See, I have a cheat sheet, but definitely check because it sometimes depends on the thickness, might not cook through.
It says 165.
Oh, perfect. I know it's something 5 and 60, so
you were close.
I was close. So 165. Thank you, Kim.
Can you talk a little bit about how you working with it as a dietitian can help people kind of figure out what foods work for them and what foods might not work for them?
Yeah, so typically when I meet with my patients, initially I obtain a lot of information about their food preferences. Sometimes people have food sensitivity, allergies, likes and dislikes, right? So coming up with ideas for each meal, this is sort of a primary sort of step. At the beginning, I would educate on meal compositions and having the templates in sort of in a background, we come up with specific meals. So often, you know, we start with breakfast. Okay, what would be a good breakfast and what they like, what they dislike, how much time they have to prepare, right? Or cook it or not cook it. You know, if a retired person has a little bit more time to prepare the meals, great. But, you know, a lot of my patients are busy moms, busy dads, and they don't have much time to spend in the kitchen. So something quick, they can throw it together. So so we definitely talk about meal menu design for each meal and different options that will still be palatable, so tasty is important, fit into that sort of desired nutrition template, and also fit into their preferences.
Are there any bad foods that you like tell someone not to eat?
Bad foods? No. No, there's no bad foods, right? Because the mentality, you know, good and bad and on a diet, off the diet, leads to to behavior that often emotionally leads to overeating. I always say there's no bad foods. It's, we can eat technically whatever we want, but we have to keep in mind our goals, our health goals. And sometimes some food may not support your goals if you eat in excess or something, but there's no good or bad food. Each food can fit into everybody's nutrition plan. I don't even like to call diet plan because diet has a negative connotation, but each food. But often I would emphasize the foods that will support again the goal. But there's nothing wrong with having a little something good, something delicious. It's all fits in, definitely.
That makes so much sense. All right, I have a personal question. I'm a little curious. Summer's coming. What are your top favorite in-season vegetables for the summer that we should be looking for or trying to get at our local farmers market?
All right, so it depends on the season. Right now we just finished asparagus, but what's coming up at least I live near Boston, so New England. We start having a lot of greens, lettuce, so definitely we should utilize that. Spinach was just about to sort of be also greens. Kale, you start seeing more kale, spinach, so those kind of things can be made in a salad. You can put in the soups. So there are different things, and very soon you start seeing more zucchinis, bell pepper, and I love roasting my summer vegetables, and often I will do it when I have a little bit more time. So I will chop up zucchini or summer squash. I will put bell pepper. I will put onion and shovel in the air fryer or in the oven, depends how much I'm making. And I will make a big batch of roasted veggies, and they're great to sort of use with anything throughout the week. You can make a salad. If you get bored, you can puree it and make a soup out of that, like a cream soup as well. So there's a lot of possibilities. Again, each sort of month will bring a different offerings to a farmer's market, but generally what I really want to emphasize personally, we're done, is using a lot of herbs. Like I planted here.
I was gonna say, is that a real basil plant? Because it looks beautiful.
It's a real basil plant. I have it on my porch, so I brought it for a little decoration because I want you to like my little kitchen. I have a parsley, I have a Swiss chard growing, and here is a rosemary, and I have my orange mint that I'm trying this year. So I love herbs, and herbs are so fantastic to add a lot of flavor. I mean, seriously, you can have the most boring sandwich. You put 2 leaves of fresh basil and you're like, okay, this is very sophisticated and delicious. So definitely encourage you to use more herbs for flavor, but also for nutrition. Like parsley, really high in vitamin C. Perfect. So instead of, ladies, I don't know who we have there, but often using vitamin C serum is great externally, but nourishing our body internally with a lot of parsley also helps us to look fabulous, and gentlemen as well, absolutely. So get your herbs as much as possible.
Awesome. Okay, a couple more questions before we finish, and you can do your thing. Do you have experience, like what if you're like a vegetarian or you're doing the keto diet or you're paleo? Can you help, like any tips, or how do you work with someone who's like a vegetarian or maybe is dairy free? Can you offer substitutions?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is what I do, and there's no limit to, everybody is on different journey, right? Some people decide to do keto, and my role as a dietitian is to support in your sort of decision what feels the most comfortable for you. And there are definitely recipes and ideas that I typically can share and suggestions and meal plans and so on. So this is definitely the same for vegetarians. I just had today one of my patients who decided to become a plant-based, and great. So we are brainstorming, okay, how she's going to transition, what she's going to choose for different meals, and how would that look like?
Oh, awesome.
So you know what? My dog will love the skin of the salmon. I have a dog, and he's excited when I do salmon because he gets the skin.
Okay, in the final minute or so, while you're plating your plate, I have a question for the people who are joining us, or for you. If they were interested in working with you, how can they find you? I'm going to put our website in the chat, but can you talk a little bit more about how they might get started?
So the easiest way is to go to our website, formhealth.co, not .com, and just go through questionnaires and sign up. Okay. If you do have any additional questions, or perhaps there's something more that you want to learn, someone can speak to you and explain to you more. And when you go through the process is you go through the questions, you signed up, someone will help you, you fill up a questionnaire, and someone will help you to set up appointment with a physician, with our physician. We have to obtain your medical records, so we'll contact your primary care physician and obtain the documents. And sort of when this is in place, you will see the MD, and you will also be scheduled with the dietitian. The initial appointment with MD is 1 hour, so it's a quite extensive evaluation, and the physician can determine if you are interested in medications to support your weight loss. The physician can help you to decide and explain what is available, what would be the best option for you. So the physician again will work more from the pharmacological point and medical point, looking your past medical history, what's going on with you health-wise, and if the medications would be a good tool for you to utilize. And you will start working with a dietitian on addressing your lifestyle, your nutrition, and so on. And initial visit is 1 hour, so also is quite comprehensive. And then afterwards, you see the dietitian every 2 weeks, and the visit are 20-30 minutes. So it's a lot of interaction, a lot of support, a lot of people. They come, they say, look, I know what to do. I just need that. I need that accountability. I need someone to basically help me to, walk through the process. And a lot of people that we have tried so many different approaches, and coming to us could be scary and intimidating, but I just want to well, I cannot promise you anything, but if you decide to join, we have, again, you can try it for a month, and if you feel that this is not for you, you can cancel the membership. But it's to be honest, I've been working for Health for 2 years, and I find that this is amazing group of people who really, really care, and that's it's different. It's very, very different. All right, let me tell you, or show you our delicious creation.
Oh, that looks so good. I'm so hungry. I wish I was over at your house.
We need a little lemon to squirt over our asparagus and our salmon, but bon appetit. And for those who are decide maybe to join us, I may see you. If not, have an absolutely wonderful evening, and I truly appreciate that you took the time to join us. We do offer different classes at Form Health. I typically do 1 hour cooking class. Yesterday I had a cooking class all about vegetables, so we cook 4 different dishes, a lot of fun. So again, we offer all kinds of other offerings at or educational opportunities at Form Health. All right.
Said, looks so good.